Uninterrupted action, protect the hostage at all costs, and stay alive, soldier. I'm Ewan, and I'm joined today by Kevin to talk about the one take movies, one shot, and one more shot. Kev, you first showed this to me earlier this week, and I'm sorry, I laughed at you. I thought it was a joke that you showed me like this bad movie with a bad poster. Turns out that was just the stereotype, my prejudices coming to the forefront. You actually recommended me a really solid franchise that I've never heard of, led by Scott Adkins as I guess the central stunt performer here. That's also, I guess, the main character of the film. The one-shot franchise, hopefully it will be expanding further as well. I don't know if the story is done overall or if we get more, but I'm keen to even dive back into it. But before we get ahead of ourselves for a third film, how did you first discover the first movie? And why were you so excited about the second one?
So One Shot came out in like 2021, and
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Scott Adkins. Scott Adkins' filmography is truly something intriguing to watch because, he has been in these huge movies. He has been in John Wick, which people know him now the most for. He was the fat guy in the suit at the casino, handing out the cards. So he's been in The Bourne Ultimatum. He has been in The Expendables, in Zero Dark 30. So, this is very much a very well respected stunt guy. There's a whole lot of action movies out there, right? But then you also have the direct to video ones. Or like the VOD ones. The direct to video is kind of trash, right? Like it's this level of trash, but you also got the upper echelon of the direct to video action movies. That is also, and that's the tier where he's at. If you've never seen Undisputed 2 and 3, especially the third one, it's so juicy and like good. Like I love those movies. So naturally, Scott Adkins, I followed his career. I've watched the Accident Man movies recently too. Love those, especially the second one, which I like more. And in the one shot, I like the first one a bit more. So
I actually like the second one a bit more.
I saw that on your letterbox.
Yeah.
But also I've done a thesis on one shot movies, one take movies. Those are, and naturally these piqued my interest. And honestly, I kind of love these movies. I actually want to hear more about you personally.
I thought the whole one take thing can often be a gimmick. I like it in movies partially used when it's there to, I guess, raise the tensions of a scene, right? Where you don't want to be able to escape it. These one-shot films use that perfectly. You can never escape it, and there's always danger around. So there's never a need to cut. And then the cuts to me also were pretty seamless. Because like if you know none of these other than Victoria, I think like there's rarely a one shot film that actually does it in one shot. Just because you do have to like just for the disc capacity to keep recording all of that, and then the stunts, all of that intricacy. But you can never really tell if you aren't looking for it. I think it's like seamlessly hidden in there, and then him being such a great stunt performer and assembling a team together that you can see they trust each other. There are some. I feel like the second film does get to do, especially like one stunt that he gets to do, like a fall. That had me like, how the fuck did they do this? I cannot see where like there's any padding or how he got to do that. And the first one is way more in a just one location where there's a bunch of shooting and there's a bunch of hiding around and like using the small space in the best way possible. But the second one is at an airport, so you do have like a lot of like lateral movement as well that you can use. Outside, inside, everything, and it just feels like bigger in the sense that like movies tend to go bigger with the sequels, but all in service of just the action showcase and just being a bit better at that. And I like for that I was like blown away by these two films because they like nail what they set out to do without any compromise. They don't they aren't as focused on the thriller aspects or the political side. The second one has that a bit more, and that's like probably the roughest part of it when they do have to do the quote unquote acting. But it still like doesn't hinder your experience of just him as the lead is so darn intriguing. Because he's a simple character. He's there to survive, to protect, and that's it.
He's a simple guy, but honestly, he's a great performer, and I think Hollywood needs to notice him more. Like if you have watched Corridor, the stunt crew, like reviews, those type of series, you have seen some of the
been
people
on like
that
two of them, right?
Yeah, like so you have seen some
Him
of the
as
people
well.
that appear in these two movies, and that's also something that gets transferred over into watching as you watch the movie, the love for stunts. And this isn't something like they just make up on the spot. It really is thought out, because like for example in One More Shot, which is the one that came out recently, they're hiding behind the like premium board pass boards, like that kind of production design makes the movie just more exciting to watch. And you get the sense, all right, there is really something to these movies. And sure, there are some dips, like the movie, like there are some dips where you like where the momentum, because it's a one shot movie, so you can't just cut out anything that doesn't keep the momentum going. So there are some moments where the momentum fades a bit, but then
Yeah.
obviously it gets brought back to it. But the reason I also like the first one a bit more, even though the second one has a lot of layers, like literal levels to play with, is because the first one is a bit more tight, which I kind of like more. Like the one scene where they're all just aiming at this hallway, and the people are coming in with like a suicide bomber somewhere behind them. I thought that was just a bit more exciting to me to watch than the airport. And Michael J. White was also a bit underused in the second one. If you he's also like a big action star, and
Yep.
I was like, I just want a bit more of him.
Well,
But
he's underused all across Hollywood because he's been in some stuff like, Spawn, most notably, I think is where probably a lot of people know him from. But and then he was one of the bad guys in the Dark Knight, one of the mafia guys. And that's probably where most people would know him from. But he also has this vast like action selection of these VOD straight to DVD movies, and yeah, he deserves better. He should also have like some bigger roles and bigger films that he gets to attach himself to.
I did see a lot of people mentioning, and obviously that's like stuff, the crew or the team like retweets. But I did see a lot of people mentioning like, hey, these guys would make a good Metal Gear Solid movie, because let's be honest,
Yeah.
these movies are kind of
Yeah.
video game movies.
Oh,
They're
I
very
wanted to
much,
mention, yeah.
yeah, they're very much based on those, like it's a big mission and you have to complete that mission. And
Yes.
I loved it.
The first one felt so much to me like playing The Last of Us, where you
Oh,
like
really?
walk around. It felt like I was playing the way that it unfolded.
Yeah.
It just the way that he snuck up on them and killed them. Like I had that same kind of at the edge of my seat feeling while I was playing The Last of Us, similar to what I experienced watching the film. And I think that kind of translates to both of the films in the best way possible. In the second one, there's also like a shot where like I love how they set up these characters in a way that like he has all the guys in masks. They are basically red shirts. They're replaceable. He basically goes through them. And then a couple of them where they don't have masks, and these are bigger guys, are bigger bads. And there's like one scene, I think on one of the trains in the airport, where it like basically swings around, and they both like wait for a second before they start like fighting, and it feels like the introduction to like the health bar that comes on
Oh, yeah.
in the best way possible. It was so fun. So I'm really glad you recommended it to me, and hopefully some more people will go check it out.
Yeah, I do, and it's also because it does also. I've said it does more. But for example, emotional stakes, the actual stakes, the movie actually takes
Yeah.
beats. Like there are like especially more in the second one. There's a lot of more emotional stakes. In the first one, it's more stakes of we need to save this type of deal. But in the second one, they really take time to flesh out some of the characters in a very spontaneous way. It isn't forced, and at least for me, it didn't feel very forced. And of course, it is a small budget movie, which you wouldn't think of because they literally got a full airport for themselves in the second one, which is probably still a private one, but it's still mind blowing that you have all that space to play with. And but it's still obviously a small budget movie, though. Don't expect anything like 1917 out of this shit, but I still love it. I'm very, very glad you like it. That meme when you recommend a movie to a friend and he gives like a positive score. It's like, yes, like that's how I'm feeling right now. So.
I baited you. My first reaction before I locked it on Letterboxd, I said, "Oh, dog shit movie."
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's also funny that like the first one is not in a huge tower in LA like the first Die Hard, but like the second one, we get to have the scenario play out at an airport. But yeah, I recommend it, both of them. And I wasn't expecting that I'd rate them as highly as I did, but I both gave them like a 7 out of 10. I think they're really solid, really good action films. So go give them a try if you want to.
I have one more question for you.
Oh, okay.
What is the title of the third one gonna be? For me, if it's not One Last Shot, I'm gonna cry. Honestly,
it has to be. I think it kind of has to be a One Last Shot. That would be that would be sick. Yeah. But yeah, let us know what you think of them if you have seen them, or if you're gonna go check it out, or maybe some other VOD straight to DVD action gems that we don't know about.
Every single one I've mentioned is good. Like every single one I've mentioned of Scott Adkins is good. Like Accident Man, the second one is even better. The Undisputed movies he's in, especially the fourth one, is so but those are more guilty pleasures, the Undisputed ones. Especially the fourth one. The second and third one are like good guilty pleasures. The fourth one is really just a guilty pleasure because he faced it at one point a ginormous guy where you're like, he would be dead. But he obviously defeats him, which I'm like, oh, so good, this cinema. The Debt Collector movies he's in are also very, very, very good. And that'll be it for me, I think, about recommendation of Scott Adkins. He also has a YouTube channel and a podcast, which are very, very good, where he talks about, the Matrix movies and all his work with Stahelski. So go check him out. He's a very good content creator. Also needs to be said. A good action guy, a good content creator.
There's a whole universe for you to go see. So we'll see you next time.